this probably isn't going to be for you. What if this doesn't work for me? What if I can't do it? You're going to entertain those thoughts. And some of you that are weak-minded are going to listen to that. And you're going to tap out. Unless you're learning. Obviously, if you're trying to practice and read price and get a feel for it that way, that's wonderful. But when you have your model shouldn't be pushed every single day. Especially if the experience factor in your trading is still on the increase. In other words, if you're a neophyte, you've only been doing it for a month or so, less than a year, everyday trading should not be your goal. Okay, it should be a long-term goal. If you're going to be a intraday trader, what's a long-term goal for something like that? I'd say about a minimum a year and a half and 2 years, something like that, to be pushing it every single day and trying to operate with a high frequency model. Now, can some of you do it sooner than that? Absolutely. But as a mentor, I'm trying to give you a broad brush general rule of thumbs. That way you're not preparing yourself for unrealistic expectations, which unfortunately this industry builds up. And I have been guilty in the past as a young man, on America Online, trying to captivate the youngins and the old ones. Anybody that was willing to listen to me on America Online, I was trying to garner that mindset and seize upon the crowd that was watching me then. And obviously you can hear me now. I'm a monotone, humdrum, fuddy-duddy. And that's really what you want to be aspiring to, because you don't want to be emotional when you're trading. You don't need me to push a button, okay? If you go through the process of watching the tape with me, you're going to see how easy it is to find one good setup a week. One good setup a week. Listen, folks, listen. You don't need anything more than that. You don't need 16 trades, okay? You don't need 40 contracts, over leveraging in a discount broker, and market replay, not really making money. You don't need to do those things. Don't pursue that. Do one contract. Do one contract and get 25 handles for the week. You don't think that can change your entire life? It can. What happens if you just make, $1,000 a week just with one contract after costs and commissions, and maybe you had a couple losing trades throughout the week? What if you just net $1,000? Right now, if that's what you were able to do 4 weeks out of a month, would you right now, because of what you see me do, and maybe other students, or maybe other educators, other people and influencers, are you going to be allowing those individuals and myself to influence you to want to do more? I want you to think about that before we start in 2023. You need to fix those things, because that's not something good. That's going to be a hindrance. Because if I'm influencing you, if my students influence you, or other traders or educators or would-be mentors or trolls are influencing you to make you do something beyond what is easy. What's easy? $1,000 a week. That is easy. That is easy with one contract. And folks, that can change anybody's life. Anyone. And it might be too high for some of you. You might be thinking, well, if I could just do $500 a week, if I could just do $1,000 a month, man, the changes in my life, what would that really bring for me is peace and stress of all these things that's piling up on me. It could diminish if I could just do that. Right. That's all I'm saying. Don't go into 2023 thinking I'm going to flip my FTMO account. If you do that, I guarantee you will be pissing and moaning in my comment section, in the video section comments. You're going to be on Twitter crying the blues because I wish I would have listened to that podcast or that stream you did on the 28th of December. You even told me what was going to happen, and I still did it. I don't want to hear or see any of that stuff. It's easy to avoid. It's real easy to avoid. You have to have a routine. You have to have a Spirit of expectation that this is what you are trying to do. When you get that, you stop. You don't try to do more. You don't care what everybody else is doing, what I'm doing. This is what you're trying to carve out for your family. Ends have to be met. Pride and ego and image has nothing to do with that. Has absolutely nothing to do with it. You're starting a brand new year. You have the opportunity to sit down with someone who's been doing this for 3 decades. I promise you, you are going to learn. You're going to learn how to do this, how to navigate, and you're also going to feel comfortable when you don't need to be doing something. You're going to see that, okay, I don't see anything here. There may be a day where we set up the opportunity to sit in front of the charts together, and the market does something that changes my entire outlook. I'm going to explain why it did that, and then we may not do anything, and we close the session. This is what's going to happen. The folks that have no interest in learning how to be independent and an independent thinker, they're going to be the ones that bitch. They're going to be the ones that cry the blues. Oh, well, if he was so good, get up the road with that. Okay. I'm not in here trying to take guesses. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a good gambler. Okay. I want the things that I look for to be in my favor, aggressively in my favor. Not, well, if it's 50-50, I'm going to see how good I can be at guessing. I don't want that. And you shouldn't want that either. Think about it. When you push that button, when you get to the point where if you ever decide to trade with live funds, and I'm never going to tell you to do that, but if you make that decision to do it, when you push that button or when you're about to push that button, do you have a spouse? Do you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a child, a dependent? I want you to think about them right before you push that button, because what you're doing is going to have a direct impact on them. You're either going to defer a lifestyle or you're going to invite stress and ruin. Think about that. How many times have you ever considered doing that right now? Or maybe in the past year? And the times that you pushed the button knowing damn well you shouldn't have been messing around with it. There's been so many different styles of trading that when I first started as a 20-year-old, I delved into all of it. There hasn't been anything out there that I have not done. And I'm going to tell you something. The model or the system is not the answer. That's not the secret, okay? If someone learned how to control themselves and the decision-making process was just flipping a quarter, and heads would be buying and tails would be going short, as long as you managed the money impeccably and you were aggressive about making sure your losses never grew and you let your winners run, that's a winning system. And when you have this skill set, and you will have this skill set, you'll understand what it feels like to not worry about your job. You won't have to worry about, things going up, inflation. Things are going to keep going up, folks. My grandparents complained about things going up. It's going to keep going up. Your kids are going to complain about things going up too. This is the way it is. Things don't stay cheap. But you're going to have a skill set that if you do the right things and you control yourself, you have the unique opportunity to outpace inflation. That should be comforting. It should be motivational for you to not try to do things on a shortcut basis. There's a lot of folks out there that take my lectures and my things on my YouTube channel and they try to condense it down to learn ICT's mentorship in 5 minutes. Okay. Let me see 10 people that have made money with your 5-minute trainer version of what I've taught. They can't. You might have one-hit wonders like anything else, like a book. You watch a video or you read a book and you think, okay, I figured it out. And that was the trap I experienced. I went out there, bought this Gooper's book, Ken Roberts, and I thought I understood it. It's trend lines, man. It's 1, 2, 3 tops and bottoms. It's easy. I know how to do this. And I lost half my money in the first trade overnight. And that was it. I pulled out and had to restart in 1993. That experience of trying to cater to the right now crowd. Okay, if you're part of that crowd that says get to the point, I'm going to tell you something right now. it would be better for you not to even listen to me. Don't even listen to me. Go run off and chase the people that are going to try to tell you they're going to teach it to you sooner, quicker, and faster. Simpler. That's the easy. That's the new twist on ICT. Smart money concepts taught to you in a 5-minute trainer. I'm going to teach you this. It's going to be easy. I'm going to do this and do it. Go stop listening to me. Go watch their stuff. Spend time with them. Lose your money, and then come back, and you'll be better equipped to learn from me. Because if you are the right now, give me to me right now crowd, get to the point ICT. If you are any of those individuals in this audience members, you aren't ready. I promise you, you are not ready. You need to suffer. You need to have some pain. You need to have something put on your ass, so that way you know that this was not the right way to do it. Let me go back to the source, and then you'll be able to listen to my lectures, and you'll understand, oh yeah, if I just would have listened to this guy. Exactly. But some of you need to learn the hard lessons the hard way, and that's fine. I had to do the same thing. I was stubborn, I was stupid, and 20-year-old, I'm going to be the exception. No, I wasn't. The only thing is I did it more stylish. Okay. When I lost money, it was impressive. The idea of trying to do this without damaging yourself, that should be encouraging for you. That should be a goal. You don't want to be doing the things that I did and people like me years ago when we didn't have mentorships. We didn't have people that could sit down and spend time and hours of their life giving it to you, an undeserving individual. All of you are undeserving, not just of my time, but anybody out there that's willing to sit down and teach and divulge what they have gone through. Whether they're a good person or they're a bad person, you're not entitled to any of this. That's the thing that drives me nuts, because you young folks, and my daughter's one of them, okay? She thinks that she should have it easier because, she should have it easier. No, she shouldn't. And she doesn't like that being told to her. And some of you don't like that when I remind you. It's the dad in me that's coming out and telling you, you shouldn't expect it to be easy. You should expect it to be hard. And you should be thankful that it is hard, because you're going to be an exceptional individual once you learn how to do this. You're not going to be cut from the same cloth. You're going to be able to do things that the average person can't do. And where everybody else is relying on, hope they keep me employed. I hope they don't find me redundant next week. And you get your pink slip and you can't now pay your bills when everything's extremely expensive right now. That to me is terrifying. If I had to work like I had to do as a young man, doing menial jobs, running a Domino's, delivering pizzas for Domino's, doing all those types of things, working at sub shops. I did all those types of things. Teenager working at Popeye's Chicken, Taco Bell. I did all that stuff. I just didn't work at McDonald's. And I didn't work at New Burger King. Sorry. But I did all those things. And I know what it's like to go through that kind of low point where this is all you can do. Going through school, trying to get some skills, but this is all I could do. Because of scheduling in school, classes, you know how it is. When you get out of high school and you got to go into the real world and you still continue your education, it's hard. It is really hard. And then you add to it, you have a child, or maybe more. Then you have to balance a relationship too, if that's going on. You're going to have to sit down with your spouse, your significant other, and sit down and really schedule time. That's the other reason why I'm only doing 2 days, because I can burn you out real quick. Real quick. It's going to be easy for a lot of you to tap out even with 2 days. I expect it. I had a lot of people come into my mentorships and tap out because they were like, wow, this is a whole lot more involved than I thought. And I thought it was going to be easy. No. Because you have to compete against yourself, who's constantly going to be reminding yourself that this probably isn't going to be for you. What if this doesn't work for me? What if I can't do it? You're going to entertain those thoughts, and some of you that are weak-minded are going to listen to that, and you're going to tap out.